that. At this time, I'd like to yield to my good friend, Dr. Brad Wenstrup, who is the Vice Chair of the Doctors Caucus, as Dr. Bishong is. He is a colonel in U.S. Army Reserves. I have to salute him. I never made it past 04. And for over 20 years, served in Iraq, and also served on the Veterans Affairs Committee and chaired the subcommittee on health. Dr. Wenstrup, I yield to you.
Dr. Rowe, I appreciate it. This is such a unique experience for all of us tonight. You know, here we are on the floor of Congress, and we've got almost a dozen healthcare providers coming to share our years of experience and knowledge and education with the American people as far as what we are trying to do in this country to develop a vaccine for the coronavirus. I mean, vaccines save lives. That's nothing new. Vaccines prevent illness. We know this. I know growing up, my mom's first cousin had gotten polio when she was 4 years old. She spent the rest of her life in a wheelchair, disfigured hands. She still found a way to make a living. But think if she had just had that vaccine a little bit sooner, if we had actually come up with this. And to this day, the challenges that we face, I look at Rotary International, which I'm a member, and their goal is to rid the world of polio and try to get everyone in the world vaccinated. This is not new science. But I will tell you this, with the virus that we're facing today, it is called novel for a reason. It is new and it is different. And we know more today than we knew 6 months ago. And that's what's so important, is that we continue to learn and get better and take care of people. We know that some people are more at risk than others. We know that some people are more vulnerable to this than others. When we look at the symptoms, for those that have tested positive and have gotten this, the symptoms can go anywhere from no symptoms at all to maybe a cough or a cold or flu-like symptoms or loss of taste and smell to respiratory problems, difficulty breathing, all the way, as we know, to death. But therapeutics have come into play as we're studying this and understanding and identifying this virus and being able to treat it. Early on, we were taking a concept that is not new, which is to take what we call convalescent plasma, take plasma from somebody who has had this disease and gotten better, develop the antibodies so that they can use it to help someone else. And we've seen that it's been effective. We've seen that it's helped. We've seen antivirals like your remdesivir come forward that are working and helping people get better. Not everyone gets better, so the fight always continues. We're using steroid treatments to reduce some of the inflammation that occurs from this viral attack, especially on the lungs, because it's the damage to the lungs that does the most. So think about this and what we're doing today. If someone tests positive, especially if they have no or very few symptoms, go home and quarantine. Check your temperature. You can check your oxygen level in your blood, which if it's going down, then you're getting sicker. It's a pulse oximeter. You put it on your finger. You can get them on Amazon. And if you are getting sicker, then the time to be treated is sooner rather than later. And that's what we were doing. And so, as has been mentioned a couple times tonight, the mortality rate has gone down 40%, which is almost unheard of. And that's without a vaccine. That's with the therapeutics that have been developed. And we're doing something that probably no other country is doing to the level that we're doing. We're testing healthy people, people with no symptoms. Why? Because we know that people without symptoms can spread this. And it's important that we know who they are. No other country is doing the amount of testing that we do. I was out with the National Guard during the August break. I went to 4 sites. We did over about 1,000 tests on people driving up or walking up. It's amazing what we are doing with our country and how we are trying to respond to this. So on to Operation Warp Speed. This is about a common sense path forward to find a safe and effective vaccine. And we're doing it in a way that no one's ever seen before. Right now, in record time, you've seen pharmaceutical companies that usually compete against each other coming together to share knowledge and to come forward to try and develop a vaccine. We have 6 that are in phase 3 right now. 3 that are up and running. I want to point out one thing about this being safe and effective. AstraZeneca had 1 patient in a trial that developed an illness. And just like any other trial, when something like that happens, you put it on pause. You put it on pause to make sure that that illness was not a result of the trial of the vaccine. That's how you develop a safe and effective vaccine. We're asking for about 30,000 volunteers for every one of these trials. That's the standard. Some will do even more. It's really incredible what we have done in such a short amount of time, and I applaud the people that are stepping up to be in these trials so that we can develop a vaccine right here in America. The public-private collaboration is unique. It is new. And as been mentioned, the risk we take is that we're developing the vaccines and manufacturing before they've been through phase 3, and if they don't get through phase 3, then it's wasted. But if they do, then immediately we have it and we start treating the most vulnerable people. Ultimately, we want 300 million vaccines to treat all of America. There's a lot of lessons learned. We've learned a lot. There's still more to learn. Only science will solve this, folks. That's who's going to solve it. And I just want to say this. When I look at Operation Warp Speed and all that we have done in this country so far, if there's going to be a pandemic in this world, there's no other country that I'd rather be in than the United States of America. And with that, I yield back.